In many cultures, parenting and gaming are tough combinations, especially for those of you who lived through the 80s and 90s gaming era. While nowadays we can reminisce about the old days, having a laugh with our boomer parents, as they are now counting us as their friends. Back then, I just wish that they could have understood me as a gamer a little bit better. You know, things like this.
I'm gonna play a game!
Or like this. Shouldn't happen in the first place after all. Well, for new parents, maybe this video is for you. I mean, for us. Yeah, I'm a parent as well. But yeah, this video is a kinda compilation about the things that could have been done differently by our parents back then. I just don't want to make the same mistake as they did. God knows if my kids will become a gamer one day just like me. What's up, guys? It's me, Mr. Sass. Today, we're going to talk about 7 things about gamers that our parents should have known better. Some quick disclaimers. First of all, I'm not a professional parenting expert. This video is simply my opinion based on my own gaming life experience. Secondly, some cases shown in this video may not apply to your life situation, so yeah, take it with a grain of salt. And last but not least, this video is not promoting hatred or bigotry towards any particular generation, such as boomers, nor is it meant to disrespect any parents, for that matter. For those of you who are still young and watching this video, especially if you still live in your parents' house, remember to respect your parents no matter what. All right, let's get to it. Starting off with number 7, it's gaming night. So, okay, in general, we all understand this sentence means. It's Halo night, it's D&D night, it's Counter-Strike day, Dota weekend, whatever the game is, those sentences mean it's your me time. Well, be it alone or with your friends, but that's it. It means you can't be bothered with things like taking out the garbage, washing dishes, helping your dad wash the car, accompanying your mom to Walmart or some grocery store, whatever. We don't want to be disturbed. I mean, come on! I just had a rough week and need some time to be left alone. Which part of it is a sin? Can't you pick another day to go to the mall? Or can't you just go to the automatic car wash for once? Yet, there they were. It's not. Gosh, Mom, Dad, I love you. But you guys have to understand that if I need some time to be alone, that doesn't mean I betray you, or starting to become a rebel or join some gang or something. At some point, I think they should have been grateful as well. Oh, of course, I too count my blessings. I mean, I have both my parents and live in a good house, good neighbors and everything, but I think they should be thanking God as I lived through that age without becoming a drug addict or making several girls pregnant outside of wedlock. Thing is, gaming is a hobby, just like when you are gardening, or as simple as hanging in a bar with your friends. Are you really want me to bother you during those times? I bet you not. There, I said it. Parents, take note, your kids love you. They just want to play some game on their weekend, give them some slacks. Maybe you don't know what they had been through in the week. Next is number 6. Multiplayer is not the same as single player. Now, maybe this is a bit new, even to millennial gamers back then. So, I'm a little bit understanding as to why they couldn't take a hint about this. But for newer parents, including me, we do understand that multiplayer game is not the same as single-player game, where you could order your kid to come for you right this instant because they can pause the game. No. In multiplayer games, you cannot pause the game. Why? Because your kid is in an online session where there are other real-life players playing the same game. So maybe for those of you who aren't playing video games, when your kids say things like, "Mom, I'm on Valorant now," or maybe like, "I'm in Dota now," you should ask first before you storm out of their room and unleash your rage towards them. Ask them nicely about what you're trying to say, without judging them that they have now become impolite or just being rude. No, man, it's not that. They simply cannot pause the game. Or, better yet, before you summon them to kneel before you, ask yourself this: is what I am going to say to them really that important? Or, can it wait later? If it's really that important, just come to their room and say what you have to say. Express yourself clearly without disrespecting them, especially in front of their online friends. So, okay, Picture yourself this. You are in the middle of a phone call with your church's friends, or maybe taking a phone call from your bosses. Can you really accept your kids to say, "Dad, I want to go to Disneyland this weekend. Can we talk about it?" Are you ignoring your kids at that moment? Yes. Are you being disrespectful to your kids? No. Did you love them? 1000%. Are playing multiplayer games and taking a phone call the same thing? Yes. It involves other people to take your time and attention. But to be clear here, I'm not teaching you how to become a cool parent or trying to teach your kid to become impudent or trying to tell you how you should run your family. No, I am not. I'm here just trying to say, just please be more considerate. Your kid is also a human being. Respect them, respect their needs, respect their time. If it's not the end of the world, take it easy. Just think about it. Okay, moving on to number 5. Immersive is not real. I vividly remember back then playing Vice City on my old PC, shooting and killing some random pedestrian, shooting down a chopper, making a trail of blood with my bike. Damn, fun time. And then suddenly, my mom walks by past me and saw what I did on my computer. Oh boy, don't I get the most earful evening later. Okay, look. If you're really concerned about the game that your kids are playing, well, you should have been more involved with your kids' gaming hobby. Talk to them about the game they really like, take some genuine interest, find out more info related to those games, or simply buy the game that really suitable for their ages. You really expect them to choose their game by themselves and then you just got angry whenever you saw something like that? Dude, that's not fair. That's the first point. Now the second one. Even when I played game like GTA back then, I turned out to be fine. Because I am sane enough to understand that it's just a game. That's not real. Sure, it felt so really immersive back then. But still, we understand that it was just a game. None of us really want or can access ammunition, buy ourselves some gun, and wreak havoc in a whole city in a minute, only to be hunted at by law force later. Take Fallout, for example, or Metro. While playing those games, man, I felt I am living in those worlds. But then I ask myself this. Do I really want to live in the post-apocalyptic worlds like these? No, of course not. I enjoy the premises that there could be something like this in our future. Seeing cool things like power armor, the Brotherhood of Steel, or shooting some bandits with my Helsing. Yeah, that's some pretty cool stuff. But to understand that now I live in peace, can go wherever I want, do whatever I like, is something I cannot replace with what they portrayed in the game. So, parents, instead of mocking or being angry with your kids because they are playing things like that, first, filter out their games and try to be more involved. Second, even if they can play that game, say, your kids are already 19 or older than that, why not discuss it with them? Things like, what do you think about this universe? Can you really survive in those worlds? Man, I swear to God, if my parents ever talk to me like that, I will go nuts. I can talk about the Fallout universe all day. Thing is, to see my parents taking an interest in my hobby is really something I could only dream now. Well, I hope it's not too late for me and my kids. Moving on to number 4, games are our property. Okay, if you're like me, maybe we're not so lucky with a term like, you're living under my roof, I bought you those PlayStation, I bought you those games, my house, my rules. While that statement is true, but that doesn't mean it's correct and beneficial for your kids. Let me elaborate. No parents ever want their kids to become rebellious or impudent towards them, so at some point us parents, from time to time, must state or show some discipline in our house. Me too, as a parent, I do that as well. But if there's anything I could learn from my parents' mistake, then is this. The more you rule your house with an iron grip, the more your kids will become rebellious. Why? Well, because by doing so, that means you are showing no interest in their life, their hobby, things that they care about, and simply forcing your way to make sure everyone in the house follows your rule only makes your kids become dishonest with you. Because at some point, you cannot be with them 24 hours a day. And at some point when you are not around, oh boy, I am sure they will be having a blast of their life and thanking God that you are not bothering them around. My point, whatever you have given or bought for them is theirs. Be it Christmas presents, New Year presents, whatever. You bought it for them, it's theirs. They can do whatever they want. Understand that. Even if they are buying games with the pocket money that you gave them, it's still their games. And to think about it, my parents should have been prouder of me. Because with the money that they gave to me, I can manage to save some and buy new games each month. Think about the chance they miss to acknowledge my money management skills. My thought about this is, if we really want to show or apply some discipline to our kids, we should make some arrangements or at least show them how. For example, if you bought them their favorite console, they would help you clean out the house every Sunday for 3 hours. If you bought them 3 new games, that means they must excel in 3 different school subjects. Things like that. Again, not to lecture you guys, the new parents, just like you, I have kids as well. But yeah, learning from my own experience, it could have been done differently. My parents should not throw away my CD games. They could have only confiscated them for some time, but no, they did throw them away. Next is number 3, unnecessary rage towards gaming equipment. Closely related to the previous point, this case, if it's not the most common thing that ever happened, is the most counterproductive and very shallow of anger management shown by an adult. I mean, do you really have to destroy my gaming equipment? Seriously? Are you happy about it? Or maybe you think it was good parenting practice? Or maybe you think it was necessary? Do you think discipline is the same as destructive and rage? If only I could go back in time and tell them boomers that words, well, my parents included. Destroying things in anger only teaches your kids that everything can be done and should have been done with rage and violence. Now that's really ironic stuff right there. Many of boomers' parents were angry about violence depicted in video games, but it was them who actually showed us how. Like I said before, showing some discipline is good, but in a civilized way. If your kid is really that annoying because they are gaming non-stop from dusk till dawn, just order them to save their game first, then turn off their device, confiscate it. I said confiscate it, do not destroy it. I mean, dude, even if you are rich, you can't ignore the fact that it's still worth some money. And if you are rich and destroying things that are valuable only teaches your kids that everything can be bought, which, to my understanding, is not a really good value to apply in real life. Not everything can be bought or should be bought, because we understand that there are things that cannot be bought with money, like memories. By destroying stuff, well, in a way, you are actually buying some horrifying memories for your kids. Talk about some rich irony. I know it's not easy, but we, younger generation who just became parents and also gamers, we should have known better. Show our kids that we dislike their certain behavior, but still we love them no matter what. We can show them a better way, without unnecessary violence. And next is number 2, let me save my game. Guys, we've all been there. You were sneaking out in the enemy base or racing through the last lap or finishing this one last quest. Then suddenly, the blackness of your screen followed by the eerie sound. Your CRT TV flashing out. Your dream of achieving that final lap or finishing that last quest suddenly vanished into the void of sadness, desperation, and rage. While you are processing what just happened, the fact that you have to start that part all over again across the room, you can see your parent making their angry faces, but you just couldn't hear any voice, just some fading mumbles to your ear. Some parents even already making a scene like throwing you with some stuff or beating your ass with a stick or broom. Familiar? Yeah, well, some of us could take it with just watery and long faces. Some are reenacting the Battle of David versus Goliath, but some are already planning to run away while taking the whole scene with a dead silence. Boomers, we hated you back then to our core. How could a person like you be our parent? The point? Parents, take note, please. For the love of God, if you don't want your kid to hate you and maybe do something you both will regret later in life, let us gamers save our game before you unleash your rage. How hard was it to ask, have you saved your game? Do it now, cause I'm about to beat your ass any minute now. Heck, if only they did that back then, I'd be glad to accept the punishment I was about to receive. I mean, yeah, somehow I deserved it. Maybe. Yeah, maybe I was just too excited playing the game 8 hours straight with no break. Was that the thing that made you angry with me? Or maybe, yeah, sometimes I just skip my household chores. I get it, I was irresponsible, but that doesn't mean you can destroy my gaming progress. The point is, if only you let me save my game, I will not succumb to the enraging fact that I have to receive your beating as well as replaying that part all over again. Mom, do you even understand how hard beating Spike Roserid in Mega Man X5 was? Again, I cannot stress this point enough. Violence is not a solution. If your kid is addicted to gaming, maybe it's because you neglected them too much to the point they find another comfort and sense of appreciation from the game. Accept that first, and then, if you are really about to burst, please let them save their game first before you unplug the cable. Finally, at number 1, gaming is scientifically beneficial. Surprise! Things are all looking good for us gamers after all. There are so many scientific papers out there claiming that gaming is actually good for human. Things like this, and this, or maybe this. But yeah, parents back then may not have heard of it, and even if they did, they simply chose their traditional values over some scientific facts. Maybe, but hey, at least that was happening back then in my house. However, that's not the case now. The point of this video, besides a quick trip down memory lane, is to make us gamer parents nowadays aware of the horror we could have done to our gamer kids, which regrettably already happened in our lifetime. So yeah, in moderation. Remember, moderation is the key here. In moderation, gaming is actually good for our kids. Well, it's still good for us as well. I choose gaming any day over hanging out in the street without purpose. At least in gaming, you kill a virtual person, not a real one. Moreover, in gaming, you could sharpen your motor skills, learn how to manage money, manage people, understand logic and consequences, learn new languages, and so on. There are too many facts about the goodness of playing video games that you simply couldn't deny. So, there you have it, guys. 7 things about gamers that our parents should have known better. Again, I'm not trying to teach you how to become parents or trying to make your kids become rebellious or some sort. It's just my experience as a gamer, which could have happened differently if only things were different back then. And hopefully, I will not make the same mistake as my parents did. Did we miss anything, or maybe you have your own story or experience? Let us know in comment. Tell us what you think. If you enjoyed this kind of video, please hit the like button and don't forget to enable notifications. If you haven't subscribed yet, doing so would be a great help for us in growing this channel. Have a nice day and thank you for watching.